Welcome back. The Portfolio Committee on Sport, Arts and Culture has welcomed the assurance from the Information Regulator that no entity or government department can hide behind the Protection of Personal Information Act when it comes to accountability before parliamentary committees. Now, this follows responses provided by the South African Football Association to the committee, in which SAFA refused to divulge certain operational information due to provisions contained in the POPIA Act. Now, Parliamentary Committee Chairperson Joe McGluwa joins us now for more. Mr. McGluwa, a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good evening to you and good evening to the listeners, and thank you for having me.
Now, Mr. McGluwa, SAFA attempted to use the POPIA Act to shield itself from parliamentary scrutiny. What does this say about the culture of transparency within the South African sports federations?
Well, let me state it up front that Parliament has a constitutional duty, and this is to conduct oversight and to every single organization, including SAFA. And also, no one is exempt from that responsibility. The Information Regulator is the highest authority on the POPIA. They has now confirmed that in writing that the POPIA cannot be used, to block Parliament from accessing information when it comes to the fact that we require information.
Well, the Information Regulator was quite unequivocal, so to speak, that the POPIA Act cannot be used to block accountability, as I've just alluded to. So does SAFA's behavior amount to deliberate obstruction of Parliament?
Well, definitely, of course, it is actually a sad day for Parliament when entities appear before us that they try to prevent us from getting the necessary information. Now, the committee is concerned, in ensuring that we have transformation in these entities, and also, for them to disclose information, essential information, simply because the fact that they are getting funds from Parliament. It's about accountability, it's about their expenditure, and it's also to ensure that SAFA operates with integrity and that public funds are utilized correctly. If you look at what is transpired within SAFA, there's numerous shenanigans that goes on, and we cannot let all of these goes unchallenged, with particular reference that the Portfolio Committee, as well as the department, has granted some monies to this entity.
Now, has SAFA misinterpreted the law, or was this simply a strategic move to avoid revealing potentially damaging information?
Well, I think this was strategically done by SAFA. If you look at the finances of SAFA, you will know that, when it comes to expenditure, there is almost 188 million, for expenditure when it comes to related expenditure of salaries. Now, these are not specified. As I am speaking here today, that we don't know what the president of SAFA salaries are. We don't know what the CEO salaries are. We also don't know what the CFO salaries are. But what we know is that, that the players get far more or less than officials. It is officials who are flying business class, and it is the players who must travel up North Africa with the bus. It is the players that must travel economy. It is the players that bring those medals to us. And it is also the players that hold our name, South Africa's name, in high esteem. And for that matter, we say it is high time that SAFA cannot dodge the committee anymore. The Information Regulator has made it clear that this information cannot be hid anymore from us.
And with the Information Regulator's guidance now clear, what corrective action then will Parliament take if SAFA continues withholding operational information?
Well, there are various ways that we can approach. For instance, we can summons them to Parliament. We can report them to the Secretary of Parliament. And very much important also is that when they are found guilty, they are subject to a fine, or even they can go to prison. And we cannot afford a continuity of this when it comes to this. And also, SAFA must take note that it will damage their brand, that will damage their name if this doesn't stop.
Mr. McGluwa, do you consider SAFA in contempt of Parliament? And if so, what are the legislative consequences?
Well, we will definitely, summons them. We will report them, and in most cases, when SAFA appear before us, it is clear that their behavior is not what it should be. I can tell that the finances, SAFA is 140 million rand in the red. They are being bailed out every single time, and we cannot afford this. We have given them recently a 5 million rand from the department for salaries, and yet there is still a number of disparities when it comes to salaries on Amajita and also on our clubs, various other clubs within SAFA. So we are saying that definitely there is problem within SAFA, and it is only Parliament, it is only the people of South Africa that can save SAFA from this. We cannot do well on the pitch, but and we cannot ignore the risk alongside with SAFA, and also SAFA's instability, to attend to these problems is also a risk, for participating in the AFCON as well as the World Cup that is coming soon.
Yeah, sure. And some argue that the federations, selectively cite the POPIA Act when it suits them. Is your committee then seeing a trend, I would say, over organizations hiding mismanagement behind privacy laws?
I must say that I commend the Information Regulator. It was not us writing to the Information Regulator. It was the Information Regulator itself who has followed proceedings not only with the Portfolio Committee Sports, Arts and Culture, but with various committees. So actually, the fact that they have written to me has now created a precedent for other committees, because what they have seen throughout this short space of time during the GNU is that people are now citing the POPIA Act to escape from their responsibilities. Also, it also noted the growing trend in doing so. But I am so happy with this letter in possession from the Information Regulator. It has now given us the necessary power to act, because Parliament's oversight powers it comes directly from the Constitution, and the POPIA cannot override the Constitution at no given time. The Information Regulator has now confirmed that the POPIA Act cannot be used, so that it is, so, they cannot use the POPIA Act to hide information for us as lawmakers.
With that said, are you getting the sense that SAFA may be shielding governance lapses or financial irregularities or even unresolved corruption issues?
Exactly. Following the proceedings on SAFA, they are spending most of their time in court instead of spending their time on the field. We have so many issues when it comes to SAFA pertaining to their operation. It has become a pattern of inconsistency, a pattern of no accountability. And we also saw that now lately that SAFA has fielded ineligible players alongside the qualifying for the AFCON. We saw the Ice Boy saga, also the policies that has all of a sudden changed on SAFA. there is also travel policy discrepancies and confusion among salaries currently when you look at the coaches within SAFA. SAFA is no isolated case, and we're saying the symptoms and what we see in SAFA is systemic. It is to a certain degree a decay, and we as lawmakers cannot sit and look on what is transpired.
Right.
We need to act, and we need to do that very harshly.
Mr. Joe McGluwa, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us. That was the committee chairperson, Joe McGluwa, joining us, to speak about, the portfolio committee on sport, arts and culture, having welcomed the assurance from the Information Regulator that no entity or government department can hide behind the POPIA Act.